As Gressel in the defensive half for Inter Miami on that central right-hand side. They look to go back nearly to their box. Weigand, and it's one out by Inter Miami following a touch from Tanasijev. Strahina Tanasijevic, very intriguing player by many estimations. Weigand. Bakral looking to provide a press towards that central right-hand side. They go back in the box towards Drake Callender. And now finds Busquets. They're playing it around the box, and it's very, very interesting to see the press from New York City FC as they force Miami to clear up the field towards that right-hand side for the away side to potentially press now in their attacking half. Now in the centre circle, which is across the centre circle, is Keaton Parks towards that central right-hand side. They go towards that right-hand touchline now as Alonso Martinez playing the back of a step, really into the centre circle now. It's with Keaton Parks in a very central position, looks towards that central left-hand side. Stepping in now was Tanasijevic. Keaton Parks across the face. Again now racing down that right-hand side was Tavon Gray. And a more central New York City FC are looking to go back into their defensive half in the centre circle. Now at the midway point of their defensive half, they go back into the box now with their goalkeeper, Matthew Freeze. Looks to play it out of the defence, and Inter Miami are pressing up very high, looking to provide some competition for the likes of Hans Wolf. Now at the midway point of their defensive half, but Inter Miami do win it back now. It's through David Ruiz down that right-hand touchline. Nice little ball to find Weingart down that right-hand side. Now Gressel across the face of the box, and no one's there to meet it. And Tavon Gray looking to play the pass away, but Inter Miami do regain possession now in their defensive half on that left-hand side. Past halfway now is David Ruiz in the centre circle, interchanging with Yannick Bright. It's with Jordi Alba. He finds Ruiz in the centre. Midway point of the attacking half for Inter Miami towards that central right-hand side to find Julian Gressel. Back with Ruiz. Nice little touch to find Suarez. It's back with Weingart. It's then with Suarez. Across towards that right-hand side. Across the box! But no one can meet it. I think it was Tavon Gray who got there first. Robert Taylor was looking to meet the cross, but has found himself on the deck, unfortunately for him. But a good little piece of play. Suarez to Gressel. And Taylor was looking to meet the low cross, but wasn't able to exactly find it. Also must focalise on one of the newer players for Inter Miami that we've seen today in the form of Yannick Bright, of course, a recent arrival as well, selected in the first round of the MLS Super Draft. And the corner arrives, and the header is over the top towards that left-hand side. And again, it's Marcelo Weingart, who's been a very intriguing prospect so far. Of course, we have to mention Yannick Bright, 22 years of age. Of course, played his college ball at New Hampshire Wildcats and has earned himself a spot on this roster. Into the centre circle it goes. It's won back by Ruiz now on that central left-hand side. Back on halfway it is with Jordi Alba. Looks for the switch, does and find the switch. There's Marcelo Weingart down that right-hand touchline. Stepping inside was Gressel. Providing some competition was Hans Wolf. And it will be a throw-in for Inter. Diego Gomez about 5 yards out from that right-hand touchline. We do see a very stylish style of play employed by Inter Miami, and also that's reflected in how they like to demonstrate their pressing style of football. And Gerardo Martino. Nicholas Cushing, a very, very intriguing manager for New York City FC. Of course, he's actually British and has coached the likes of Manchester City's women's side, and had to have his deputy role as an assistant manager at New York City FC for a couple seasons, and then was given the full reins in 2022, sporting a very nice Stone Island shirt here, which is quite stylish, dare I say. In the centre circle now is David Ruiz and Inter Miami's defensive half. Now it's towards Jordi Alba on that central left-hand side in their defensive half. Forced to go back to Callender, and a big press enforced by New York City, and so too Monsef Bakrar, as they do win back possession now on this right-hand side. Ilenic can't keep it in play, but he does win the throw-in. They go back towards that defensive half on that right-hand side. Inter Miami looking to press. Still on that right-hand touchline, but they're playing into a more central position now. For Tavon Gray. Looks back to his defensive half on that left-hand side, and the switch is attempted and executed to full effect, and they enter the attacking half in New York City FC. Monsef Bakrar down that right-hand side. It's got space opening up in the middle. He does find space on that left-hand side. Racing is Santiago Rodriguez onto his right foot. Rodriguez! With a curling effort. There's Drake Callender, who's there to claim it. Very intriguing and easy save for Drake Callender to make. A player that's really grown into his role as a part of the US men's national team in the most recent international break. Yet to make his debut though, but certainly a player to keep your eyes on. On that central left-hand side is David Ruiz, of course Honduras international. Busquets, playing as a central defender this evening, in place of the likes of Serhii Kvitsov and many others. Now it's with Busquets on that central left-hand side. In the box. Weingart looking to break the press down that central right-hand side. And coming deep to receive is David Ruiz. In centre circle now, Inter Miami looking to press down that left-hand side. This time, across the box, it's towards Gressel. He was on the edge of the area on that right-hand side. And he does bring down a player in question. That being New York City's number 12, Karhinja Tanasijevic. Of course, Diego Gomez is another very dynamic player. 7 caps for Paraguay, of course, part of the MLS's under-22 initiative. Actually leads the MLS for tackles in the middle third with 11 in this calendar year. Now it's with Bakrar looking to race through down that left-hand side of the penalty area, but it's well cut out by Inter Miami. Weingart. And again, looking to play it down was Ryan Saylor, but he can only put it out of play. And back in the defensive half for New York City, and now it's with Keaton Parks down that central right-hand side. Loft the ball over the top, racing through a goal. There's a number 16, but Drake Callender can break away and do very well and ensure that Alfonso Martinez can't get a very easy strike on goal there. Now loft the ball over the top into the central of midfield now through David Ruiz in the defensive half as he plays it towards that left-hand side. Now Inter can break away through Robert Taylor down this left-hand side. Suarez is there for support. Taylor looks to poke it through towards a central position for David Ruiz, about 10 yards out from the penalty area. Brilliant ball to David Ruiz, who gets the header towards that left-hand side on a good save from Matthew Freeze, who had to go to his right-hand side. A good opportunity for Inter Miami, and you just suspect that this game is going to open up on a very big pitch here at Fort Lauderdale. 2 opportunities in just a moment of instant. Of course, Inter Miami have done pretty well so far to compose themselves, and Ryan Saylor, of course, a very important start for him. Of course, another player drafted a couple of seasons ago. Now it's towards that left-hand side, and Inter Miami will take the throw in just inside the defensive half. They throw it to Drake Callender, who comes out of his box. This is actually Ryan Saylor's first start of the season. He had his first appearance last week against New York Red Bulls. A massive 4-0 loss for them. It was that time. Weingart throwing a midway point of the attacking half. On that right-hand side, and Weingart receiving inboard again. approaching the touchline on that right-hand side. Marcelo Weingart, of course, this actually is his debut. Only signed for the club 2 days ago. Under 20 international for Argentina. You see the corner arrive for Inter Miami down that right-hand side. What can they fashion from this position? Actually held for a free kick. About 25 yards out from goal on that right-hand side. It's a pretty obtuse angle, and Julian Gressel's going to try and fashion one from this opportunity. Let's see what he can do from this position. Julian Gressel on the set piece now. He's got runners arriving in the box, but they're all just lining up on the edge of the area. It's Gressel. A free header arrives! Uruguayan supremacy! Luis Suarez opens the scoring for Inter. And a brilliant combination play from Gressel to Suarez. And in the absence of Messi, it's the Barcelona legend, Luis Suarez, who's able to come provider in a very important moment for his side. Sumptuous free kick. Suarez is there to head home in the easiest manner possible. But is he in an offside position? It doesn't think it will be. That's his 5th goal in the MLS this season. He's coming for that golden boot. We wouldn't expect anything different from Luis Suarez. Stunning. That's his 8th goal involvement this season in only 7 appearances. And a great start for Inter Miami. Messi seems to be cutting a very resolute and calm figure. Doesn't seem to be too up and about after that opener. He's obviously in attendance. A little bit of a minor setback for him, but there we go. Back underway. Keaton Parks towards that central right-hand side in the defence for New York City. Diego Martins, and Freeze coming out of his box to play it down towards that left-hand side on the midway point of their defensive half for New York City. A bit of a press and force by Inter Miami, and they do win back possession now. To Yannick Bright, now towards Julian Gressel. Towards that right-hand side, Suarez, brilliant ball in behind towards Gressel. Looks to break away into the box, driving to a more central position now. It's Yannick Bright. Towards that central left-hand side is with Jordi Alba. Looks to loft one into the area, but it's headed back by New York City, still in their defensive half, but it's won back by Inter Miami in the centre circle. And David Ruiz looking to impose himself a little bit too much. And so it was actually Diego Gomez. But Julian Gressel. Suarez with the flick back towards Gressel. He found himself in the box, but couldn't exactly make anything of it. Very intriguing career, Julian Gressel, one of the best crossers in the league of the ball. He's a fantastic dynamic player on that right-hand side. Of course, now a fully fledged US international. Gressel now in the central half is David Ruiz and Diego Gomez, who looks to play a pass in behind towards Robert Taylor, but he can't latch onto it. One back by New York City in their defensive half, in their penalty area. On that right-hand side now, they do look to break away, but again, Miami win it back. Alba crossing to the box, and there was Diego Gomez, but he can't head home. Last touch coming off New York City. Thrown right next to the corner flag, and they are completely rattled this time. New York City, they can't deal with the level of intensity that Inter are playing with at the moment. And a poor pass from James Sands across towards that left-hand side was intercepted by Inter Miami, causing more trouble A throw at the midway point of their attacking half for Inter Miami now, this time through Marcelo Weingart. It's Ruiz, back to Weingart. Looks to get the cross away, but it's deflected off Hans Wolf. Out for a throw-in. Towards that right-hand side of Suarez, across the byline. It's this time through Hans Wolf. Looks to get it cleared down that right-hand side for New York City, but it's won back by Miami and then lashed high up in the air by New York City, but it will be an Inter Miami throw-in on that central area, which I look to play the ball into, but it's at the midway point of their attacking half on that right-hand side. It's now through Weingart, who's going to throw this in. Weingart yet again. We're going to break away, approaching the byline now. It's Weingart driving closely into the box, and it's the volley of Roots! Very close opportunity for Diego Gomez. Had the volley down that left-hand side. A great piece of play from the Argentine arrival. Down that right-hand side, looked to drive into the box. He had Suarez for support. Diego Gomez with the attempted volley on his right foot. And I think Gressel was there as well, actually, to possibly get that deft touch on goal. And now it's in the defence for New York City down that right-hand side. They'll look to progress up the pitch. Ilinic. We apologise for some technical difficulties. We're just going to hopefully get back in action just in a very few moments. Should be back underway in just a few moments. Deans with Drake Callender now, who's looking to bide his time. In his box. Now towards Kvitsov. It's a replacement in the form of Ryan Saylor. Up the pitch they go, this down with Ruiz. A nice ball in behind to find Luis Suarez to perhaps poke it inside, but he can't. And now it's with New York City FC in that midway point of that defensive half. Now to the Keaton Parks in the centre circle. Loft the ball over the top. Can they find a player in behind? They can't exactly. Luis Suarez in a very tussle in possession. And you'll feel as if he was a bit hard done by there. Did not exactly get the goal, but the free kick. See, about 50 yards out from goal. In the centre circle, it is through Thiago Martins. Again, we apologise for some technical difficulties. We'll just attempt to bring you the action in just a few moments. provide a resolution just in a few moments now. And we're back underway now. Santiago Martinez, just to recap. Santiago Martinez with a very distinct shot on goal. On that central side. The cross came into the box down that right-hand side from New York City, and Santiago Rodriguez looked to fly one over. And we're back underway now. It's with Drake Callender now in the box. Looks to play it short to Ryan Saylor now in the box. It's back with Callender. Sends one high up the park. It's right into the feet of New York City FC down that right-hand side, Bakrar. And it's Sergio Busquets. Looks to flick it across. Now arriving on that right-hand side is the option of Ryan Saylor, the central defender, coming up very big. He looks to flick one towards that right-hand side. Weingart, past halfway down that central right-hand side. He finds Ruiz, back to Weingart. Down that right-hand side. Further right is Julian Gressel, back to Weingart. Looks to play an incisive ball in behind. Looking for the option of, looks to be Robert Taylor. But it's now with New York City FC down that left-hand side. They will look to approach the box on the left edge of the penalty area. To play it back to the option of Keaton Parks, but won back by Inter Miami now through Jordi Alba. Looks to flick it nicely towards Diego Gomez, who's brought to ground. He's awarded the free kick just inside his defensive half. About 5 yards or so out from the centre circle. So a very distinct opportunity, potentially in waiting for Inter Miami. They have it in their defensive half this time. They'll take the time through Ryan Saylor. It's Ryan Saylor now, midway point of their defensive half. They look towards that right-hand side, Weingart. They go. Gressel, the intended target. But New York City FC with a strong press, and they do win it back in their defensive half now on that central left-hand side. It's with Keaton Parks now. He's got options to his left, options to his right. Which one will he seek in this instance? Now it's back with Julian Gressel. He's got space opening up with David Ruiz. And Diego Gomez, he's got space on that right-hand side. He's back towards Suarez, but it's well dealt with by New York City. Nullify the opportunity on that occasion. Now it's towards that right-hand side. Jordi Alba with a cross into the box, but it's well dealt with by New York City. We apologise for the technical difficulties, but we're back underway now. The cross into the box from Miami again. It's towards Suarez, who had an opportunity to strike it on goal. A lofted ball into the box, but the Uruguayan couldn't get his second. A golden opportunity goes away. And that could have been it for Inter Miami. If they were to just get the right opportunity in that instant. But it wasn't to be. And Suarez nearly putting his side into an advantageous position in this first half. To go 2 goals up would be an absolute dream. And as Diego Martins looks towards that right-hand side in the defensive half for New York City. Back with Martins. On that central right-hand side. Looks to play it up slightly up the pitch. This time for the waiting option in Ilenic. Now it's with Tanasijevic. Diego Martins in a central position. Defensively, now it's with James Sands. Look to have a good spell of possession now. It's with Tanasijevic with the crossfield ball towards that right-hand side. It's a brilliant pass. And it does find in the attacking half for New York City. It's Bakrar down that right-hand side. We'll look to race through. Got options in the middle. They can't find the teasing ball that they needed. But it's back with Inter Miami now through Tavon Bright. A brilliant nutmeg from Miami. Diego Gomez now finds it towards Julian Gressel on that right-hand side, racing forward into Miami, and a good step inside from New York City's defense. And it was from Hans Wolf, and he's awarded the free kick. Very tidy player on this left-hand side, Hans Wolf. The Austrian international has played with the likes of RB Salzburg and RB Leipzig. Recent arrival in January. Yet to make a senior Austrian national team appearance, but has been called up for numerous camps. Only 24 years of age, so he's got plenty of life within his young career. Couldn't quite break through at RB Leipzig, but does have a goal in the Bundesliga, which is quite important to say. Bit of a stoppage in play at the moment. Tanasijevic is just questioning what's exactly going on here. Serbian international. Was arriving just recently. Tanasijevic, now it's back in the midway point of the defensive half for New York City down that left-hand side. Looking to race through Santiago Rodriguez, but it's with David Ruiz now in the centre circle. And loft the ball towards that right-hand side, looking to find the option of Gressel, but no one's there. Back at the midway point of the defensive half for New York City. This time it is James Sands. Central left-hand side, Tanasijevic. And looking to break through is David Ruiz. It's back with Gressel. Looks to play to a more central position. And winning it back is New York City FC, who's called for advantage now. Santiago Rodriguez. Down that central position, down looking towards that left-hand side. And Miami just clear it up into their attacking half. But it's won back by New York City through Thiago Martins. Now James Sands, midway point of the defensive half. It's with Sands. Looks up towards that left-hand side. In space now is Monsef Bakrar. Looking to turn onto that right-hand side. It's back with Santiago Rodriguez. A good little piece of interplay in that central position for New York City FC as they look to break the press and move forward into Miami. But it's unfortunately from Alonso Martinez, who's in a bit of strife now. Midway point of that defensive half is Sergio Busquets. Now he plays it towards Ryan Saylor. Back with Callender. And it's David Ruiz. He looks to receive in board, but it's towards that right-hand touchline. Weingart can't exactly keep it in and misplace the pass. Hans Wolf. Approaching the centre circle now is Keaton Parks towards that left-hand side now. James Sands. Good little 1-2 touch on that left-hand side. It's now with Hans Wolf. Weingart stepping in and does win it back for Inter Miami on the central right-hand side. And a brilliant ball down the line towards that right-hand side. Looking for the option of, I think it was Jordi Alba, in fact, that might have made the run. It's actually Weingart who's going to throw this in at the midway point of the attacking half down that right-hand side. Thrown for Vanguard to the midway point of the attacking half is now with Ruiz, looking to flick one through, but exactly can't demonstrate his quality. Saylor looking to step up in the attacking half for Inter Miami, and of course a yellow card to Zorhina Tanasijevic. Thrown down this left-hand side for New York City through Tavon Gray. It's one back in their defensive half. Keaton Parks towards that central left-hand side. It's now with Tanasijevic. Keaton Parks looking towards the centre circle. It's one back by New York City following the interception arrival, but now it's Moncef Bakra looking to bear down on goal. It's got Ryan Saylor for support, but he does really well to defend on that occasion. It was a near clear path to goal, and Inter Miami looking to break away. Now Keaton Parks towards that right-hand side. It's an opportunity for New York City! And they do deliver! Alonso Martinez into the bottom left corner. A sumptuous ball down that right-hand side. Martinez made no mistake. And a golden goal for the away side, who might look to turn their season fortunes around at the home of the Barcelona greats. An unbelievable finish and a great turn. Good time. Alonso Martinez, an excellent finish. And it's a great time to really come onto the stage and deliver. The Costa Rican flavour adds to the plethora of international stars in the MLS. And more importantly, for New York City, that is such an important goal. It's Alonso Martinez's first goal in the MLS in only his second match this season, after being on the bench for so many games earlier on. A recent arrival last season, and comes up at the right time. Central right-hand side into Miami now. This time, Gressel. It's David Ruiz looking to step inside towards that left-hand side now. Racing down is Santiago Rodriguez approaching the left edge of the penalty area. Beautiful piece of skill. Looks to roll it across the box, but no one's there. Gressel now in the defensive half for Inter. But it's one back by New York City FC. Down that right-hand side, Alonso Martinez looking to break through yet again, but Jordi Alba down that left-hand side in the defensive half for Inter Miami. It's back with Jordi Alba. It's Sergio Busquets towards the centre circle. Does find David Ruiz. Turns away from his marker and does find options on that central left-hand side. And it's brought towards that left-hand touchline. This time it's Robert Taylor. And steps back of a step. Does find Jordi Alba. Towards Taylor. Down that left-hand side, approaching the left edge of the penalty area. Looks to roll it centrally now for Vanguard. Will he try his luck from range? He does, but it's way over the bar towards that left-hand side. Luis Suarez as well was trying to impose himself. Hasn't been outstanding besides the goal. He's really had a few touches on the ball, but now it's towards Matthew Fries in the defensive half for New York City down that right-hand side. It's deflected off Miami. Just in line with the penalty area. It's New York City looking to play it out of their defence. Haven't been exactly so successful so far, but midway point of their defensive half, New York City FC looking to bide their time in transition. Up the field they go. The pass from Busquets is miscued. Now Ryan Saylor looking to clear it. Now it's towards New York City down that central area of the pitch in the centre circle. Still in their defensive half though. They've got options to the left-hand side, and here is Tavon Gray, that left-hand touchline. In the left central position is Santiago Rodriguez. Back in their defensive half on that left-hand side is Tanasijevic. Tavon Gray down that left-hand touchline. They're going to come to a more central area in the centre circle now. Nice little few touches as they find their way on that right-hand side now. This time it is Ilenic rolling across the face of goal, approaching the D. He's New York City, and a great ball towards that left-hand side. And they can't exactly find a shot on goal. Hans Wolf with a good touch, but they couldn't exactly make anything of it. And it was the new signing, and Weingart, who did really, really well to close him down. And now we'll see the corner on this near side. So it will be Santiago Rodriguez to send this one in on this left-hand side on his right foot towards the central region. And Inter Miami do well to clear their lines there. On that left-hand side, still alive for New York City, approaching the left edge of the penalty area. But it's Inter Miami who cleared up the line down that right-hand side. Still in their defensive half, however. And New York City with a flick ball into the box, but Inter Miami to get it clear. And they do find a running Robert Taylor on that left-hand side. In fact, it actually was Julian Gressel. It's back in New York City's defensive half, just outside of the box on that right-hand side now. It's Ilenic playing it short to Keaton Parks. On that central right-hand side now, look for the option of Bakrar. Racing through now, a brilliant touch from Rodriguez towards that left-hand side. Hans Wolf couldn't get a touch to it, but Weingart was there to make the interception. Thrown at the midway point of the attacking half down that left-hand side for New York City FC. This time it is James Sands on that central left-hand side. Now is Santiago Rodriguez dropping very deep. Rodriguez still driving through. He's got space opening up on that right-hand side. This time the attempted strike on goal was going to arrive from Alonso Martinez. Keaton Parks back to goal. Parks towards Santiago Rodriguez. Just an absolute clattering of players in possession down that central area for New York City FC. They do win it back on that central left-hand side. James Sands playing it back to his defence. Tanasijevic. Just past halfway for New York City FC down that right-hand side. Right-hand touchline is fairly under pressure. New York City. They look to play it more into a central area, but it's one back. Cut out by Sergio Busquets. Space opening up on that left-hand side for Inter Miami, and it's unfortunately unable to be played by Diego Gomez. It's one back by Inter just past halfway, and it's in the central area. It's Jordi Alba towards that left-hand side. Looking left for Gomez. Alba into the box. It's David Ruiz with the attempted header. And last touch, I believe, that did come off a Inter Miami player, so it will be a goal kick. Suarez doesn't seem too happy about it. Plenty of MLS games currently on your Saturday night. Charlotte currently 0-0 with Cincinnati. Toronto 0-0 with Sporting Kansas City. The New York Red Bulls taking a 1-0 lead over Orlando City. And DC United currently locked up 0-0 at Montreal as well. Weingart throw in just down that right hand side, just inside that defensive half. It's into the feet of into Miami. It was Yannick Bright looking to play down that right hand side, but couldn't deliver on that occasion. So it will be a New York ball. And they Look to build up from their defensive half again this time. Thiago Martins. Centre circle now is Keaton Parks. Centres towards that left-hand side. It is through Tavon Gray. That left-hand touchline comes into a more central area, but it's back on the halfway line for Sands, and now Keaton Parks. Central left-hand side is Sands. Plays it further left for Santiago Rodriguez. Back over step is Sands. Plays it back to a more central area for Keaton Parks. Or look to drive, and maybe they'll look to build on this right-hand side now. New York City FC, midway point of their attacking half. They look to play it back to Thiago Martins. New York's captain towards that right-hand side again. It's New York City looking to build. Looking to bide space in the middle, but it's with Inter Miami who can contend with it very well. Now it's Yannick Bright finds David Ruiz in the centre circle towards that central right-hand side of Suarez. Back to goal. He's got options of waiting, but he's brought to ground and is awarded the free kick just on halfway for Inter. Towards that right hand side. Keaton Parks winning it back from New York City, but the foul was committed in transition. So now will be a free kick for Inter Miami in their defensive half, and they played straight into the attacking half now. Towards that left hand side is Jordi Alba. Across the box it goes, but it's well dealt with by New York City. Back into the box from New York City, but they could deal with it well. It's towards that right-hand side now. Looking to race through down that right-hand channel is New York City, but it's kept in play by Diego Gomez in a nice little 1-2 touch with Sergio Busquets. Central left-hand side for Inter Miami in their attacking half now. Weingart now finds with Luis Suarez on that right edge of the penalty area. Looks to roll it across the face of goal, and a little nutmeg leave for Julian Gressel and Robert Taylor now, who are looking to combine, but it's back with Suarez now on the right edge of the penalty area. He's brought to ground. No free kick awarded though. 4 minutes of added time in this first half. Now on the central right-hand side is Weingart looking to drive into a central position. Now it's back with Yannick Bright. And now it's with Jordi Alba. Central left-hand side. Now in the centre circle, just about was Saylor. Centrally is Jordi Alba, looks towards that left-hand side. Suarez back to goal. It's back with Jordi Alba. Approaching the D now, Yannick Bright, but New York City do clear it. Back into their defensive half. Drake Callender almost deputising as a centre-back. To Jordi Alba down that central left-hand side. Towards that central left-hand side is Inter Miami. It's with Luis Suarez towards that right-hand side. This could be the moment for Weingart across the byline. He looks to get the cross away, but he can't exactly do it. And now it's a corner for Inter Miami. That was a golden opportunity. Really good work by Luis Suarez to find space on that right-hand side for Weingart. Just really had to lash at it first time. Gressel with the delivery. In fact, it actually is Taylor. Across the D now is David Ruiz. And now the Inter Miami play it back into their defensive half. This time for Drake Callender is looking to receive. And towards that right-hand side it goes. And it's well dealt with by New York City. And so too by Tavon Gray. Just outside of the box is Thiago Martins. Looks upfield down that right-hand side. Just on halfway now is Tavon Gray. On his left-hand side. Plays it back of a step for James Sands. midway point of their defensive half. New York City FC. Now back in a more central area it was for James Sands. Look down that left-hand side, but it's intercepted by Inter. Midway point of their defensive half now it is through Ryan Saylor. Back to Drake Callender. Just a minute left of added time in this first half. Inter happy just to soak up pressure. Loft the ball over the top from Sergio Busquets. Went back in the centre circle by New York City briefly. And it's James Sands now looks to play it forward. David Ruiz looking to step up as well down that left-hand side. There's one back and a brilliant piece of skill from New York City. And Ruiz does commit the foul just inside their defensive half. Down that right-hand side for New York City. In the centre circle now is James Sands. He's now on halfway. Midway point of their defensive half. New York City FC, now Santiago Rodriguez. Loft the ball over the top. It's headed back by Inter Miami. And running through now is Diego Gomez looking to race through in the centre circle. And James Sands just exerting too much influence there, and he's awarded the foul. And the halftime whistle has been called. The opening goal from Luis Suarez, 14 minutes in, was answered by Alonso Martinez. Plenty of work to do for both sides as we approach this second half of the MLS. And we'll be back with you in 15 minutes or so for some more action. away now. Midway point of the defensive half as Sergio Busquets looks towards that central right-hand side. Ryan Saylor. Back to the goalkeeper now is Drake Callender. Central left edge of the penalty area is Sergio Busquets looks towards that right-hand side as Ryan Saylor yet again. Here at the Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Picturesque Saturday evening in Miami. Busquets looks towards that central right-hand side. It's with Ryan Saylor. Back with Drake Callender across the D. Sergio Busquets on that central left-hand side. Back to Callender in the penalty box. He clears it high up the pitch, but it's right at the defence of New York City. All dealt with now is with Alonso Martinez, the goal scorer for New York City. In the centre circle now, it's with James Sands. Keaton Parks now receiving in the centre circle is Sands yet again. Now it's with Thiago Martins in the midway point of the defensive half for New York City. Back in the centre circle. Just on halfway now is Thiago Martins. Looks towards that right-hand side is Ilinic, and towards Alonso Martins across the byline. Gets a cross inside, but it's all dealt with. And now it's Inter Miami looking to break forward, but it was Thiago Martins who actually brought down Luis Suarez just on halfway for Inter Miami. What can Miami fashion from this position? Now it's on this central left-hand side. It's for Diego Gomez. Looking to make his way up the pitch. Midway point of the attacking half for Inter Miami. Attempted through ball in behind, but it's still alive for Inter Miami. Suarez looking towards the right-hand side in the penalty area for David Ruiz, but he's forced to the byline now, and I think he'll win inside a corner. In fact, he will. So an important moment for Inter Miami now if they can potentially get the go-ahead goal. Now the cross to arrive from Julian Gressel in towards the centre. It's Diego Gomez, but it's claimed by Matthew Freeze with the first header from Gomez just bobbing up high in the air. And New York City will look to counter-attack. They cross past halfway. They've got space on that left-hand side opening up. Space in the middle for Bakrar. They look towards the central right-hand side, but that pass is cut out. And it's still alive for Inter now. This left-hand touchline, Diego Gomez looks to play back to his defensive partner in Jordi Alba. Midway point of the defensive half in the central region of the pitch. It's with Sergio Busquets. Now it's with Alba towards the left-hand side. It's with Robert Taylor. Back to Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba, back of a step. Midway point of the defensive half for Sergio Busquets. Looking to approach the centre circle, and he does so now. It's Ruiz. And again, New York City press, and they do win it back. It's Alonso Martinez who's through on goal. This would be such an amazing moment, but they can't because of the fantastic defensive work from Sergio Busquets, who was able to get in the way and force that shot out for a corner. A poor miscue from Yannick Bright saw Alonso Martinez basically through on goal, but a fantastic defensive challenge from Sergio Busquets was able to nullify the opportunity. That's why he is just considered to be one of the greatest modern midfield defenders we've ever seen. The cross arriving now from Santiago Rodriguez towards the back post. It arrives, and Drake Callender is forced to make a save, and a second effort goes just wide of the goal towards the right-hand side. And New York City are knocking on the door here. An excellent cross from Rodriguez towards the central back post, and it was Bakrar, in fact, who had the first opportunity, which forced a save from Drake Callender. In fact, I think it might have actually hit the left post. A bit hard to tell from this vantage point, and the foul is called. Inter Miami will take it from the midway point of their defensive half. Back in the centre circle now. It is with Yannick Bright. Looks towards that left-hand side. The option of Robert Taylor presents itself. Jordi Alba now. Doing it short now for Robert Taylor, driving into a more central area. But he's cut out, and New York City will look to press themselves. They've got space opening up on that right-hand side. A brilliant run towards that right-hand side. This time it is a Santiago Rodriguez. Nice little teasing ball in behind. Alonso Martinez back to goal. It's back with Santiago Rodriguez on the right edge of the penalty area, but it's out for a throw-in. It will be into Miami to take. Probably should put a bit of a spotlight on Santiago Rodriguez. He's a very talented footballer, and he provides a lot of intensity. Of course, they're not the only Uruguayan on the pitch. Of course, made a name for himself at Nacional, where he was signed by Montevideo. Themselves are actually also a City Football Group club, and then he was signed for New York City FC on loan in 2021. He actually said in the media last year that he wanted the MLS to become more important, more prevalent fixture. And then, of course, he was brought back to the club and as a designated player in 2023. As a foul was awarded to Inter Miami just inside their defensive half from Diego Gomez. So much Central American and South American flavour on the pitch, as we do see David Ruiz, a Honduran international, receiving in board and playing it towards that right-hand side. Space opening up in the middle now. This time it is Luis Suarez looking to break his way through down that right-hand side, as well contained by New York City, who do win back possession on that left edge of the penalty area, and they are able to win themselves a free kick. It's running to Sijovic, just with a bit too much influence on that occasion. Gressel, he's just walking back, following that foul, and he does win back possession now. Robert Taylor on this left edge of the penalty area, onto his right foot. It's Robert Taylor, and that shot deflected. And I think there's been a handball call against New York City FC. There will be a foul for Inter Miami to take that 30 yards out from goal. Also the foul previously, Gressel has been awarded a yellow card. Yeah, the handball goes against, I think it's Santiago Rodriguez here, and actually, in fact, it's actually Alonso Martinez. So we'll see Jordi Alba now. We'll send the ball into the box. Of course, veteran of this football club. Alba towards the back post, but it's well claimed by Matthew Fries. Not the most conventional of paths for Matthew Fries, but nonetheless, Inter Miami do win back possession following the attempted counter-attack from New York City FC. It's back with Jordi Alba. Midway point of the attacking half now, it's with Robert Taylor. Back of a step is Sergio Busquets. But yeah, Matthew Fries, of course, 25 years of age, has had quite the career. Actually played his college football at Harvard Crimson. So, Ivy League school. The best of the best. Towards that right-hand side of the penalty area, it's David Ruiz looking to cut inside. Play it back of a step now. It's towards Yannick Bright, who plays it back into a more central position. Just across the centre circle now is with Sergio Busquets. Now it's towards Ryan Saylor. Towards that right-hand side, it's with David Ruiz, central right-hand side. Looks further right. And Julian Gressel towards the play back on the halfway line now. It's with Sergio Busquets right in the centre of the pitch. Busquets now slightly forward towards Yannick Bright. That pass cut out by New York City, but Inter will still press now down this right-hand side. It's with David Ruiz, just in line with the right edge of the penalty area. Happy to just retain possession and recycle possession of the football in this current moment. It's with Sergio Busquets, loft the ball over the top towards that right-hand side. That right-hand touchline now, it's Yannick Bright who receives in a more central position. Also knocking it around on that right-hand side of the attacking half for Inter Miami. It's Ryan Saylor now. Ball into the middle now for Suarez. Good little first touch. It's Suarez towards the left-hand side. It's Taylor. Back to Suarez with the first-time effort. But it's very tame and it's a very easy save for Matthew Freeze. Good little piece of play. Suarez, Ruiz, and it was a good ball across the box from Jordi Alba to Luis Suarez, but he couldn't deliver. We've seen that combination for a long time at Barcelona, but not exactly this time. And for Luis Suarez, he knows that a second goal is needed to really put his side in a position of ascendancy. Thiago Martins down that right-hand touchline now. It's with Ilenic. Midway point of the defensive half now through James Sands, left-hand side now. It's for Inter Miami, who just off the head of Tavon Gray. I think it's a very, very peculiar piece of play. It was like a falcon. Keaton Park now in the centre circle, now past halfway. Do New York City FC progress towards that right-hand touchline now? Is Ilenic. They've got space in the middle, but still on that right-hand touchline. About 10 yards out from the penalty area in that instance. They go further back now with Keaton Parks. Now in the centre circle is James Sands. Looks towards that left-hand side now, and the option does present itself from Tavon Gray. Back of a step, central left-hand side. More centrally now, Santiago Rodriguez. Keaton Parks. It's back with Rodriguez. That central left-hand side. New York City happy to knock the ball around and force the defensive line for Miami to go back further and further. Ilenic on that right-hand touchline. Plays it centrally now for Santiago Rodriguez. Towards that right-hand side, across the face of the box it goes. Might it go all the way to Tavon Gray? It doesn't. And now back to goal is Luis Suarez. And this will mount a massive Inter Miami counter-attack. And a long ball was looked to be played towards that right-hand side for Julian Gressel, but it's overhit. And it will be New York City who will now progress the ball up the park. Into the centre circle now is Keaton Parks. Just inside the New York City defensive half. And, it's won back by Inter Miami now. Towards that right-hand side, it's the ball from Yannick Bright, which finds David Ruiz. Play it back into their defensive box, this time through. Short towards Sergio Busquets. Now Jordi Alba past halfway down his left-hand side, looking to make a darting run forwards. In possession now is Diego Gomez, looks towards the right edge of the penalty area. On that right-hand side, Gressel across the face into the box, but no one's there. Looking to roll it square. And now it's with Yannick Bright at the midway point of the attacking half for Inter Miami. Towards that left-hand side now, lofted ball does find Robert Taylor. He finds it in a more central position for Bright, who goes across the face towards that right-hand side. Saylor, 10 yards out from the right edge of the penalty area. In short for Diego Gomez. Turns back to Bright. Bright looks towards the left edge of the area. Now the cross towards the back post looks to arrive. And on the byline it goes. It's back into the area. It's headed back by New York City FC. They just have to clear their lines. It will be a throw-in for Inter just about 10 yards or so out from the left-hand corner flag. In fact, it actually will be a corner. So we'll see Robert Taylor standing over this one. He's got the short option of Jordi Alba, but Taylor will fashion one on his right foot here. It's towards the back post, and the shot does arrive! And it forces a great save
from New York City FC's goalkeeper, Matthew Freeze. And I think another corner will be ensuing. Good opportunity. A really, really distinct opportunity for Inter. They can't exactly break away in that moment. It was Luis Suarez at the back post, actually. It was all but free to strike on goal, and
it was right to his body, Matthew Freeze, and just had to get his arms at it. And he did so.
Now towards that right-hand side, David Ruiz. And into Miami on that right-hand touchline, looking to find some more space in the middle now for Sergio Busquets. The player clattered down by New York City FC. And we'll see a free kick now for the home side. The player brought down is Yannick Bright. He looks to be all okay, though. David Ruiz and Bright have just covered about the most distance in this contest for Inter Miami. Now a very intriguing delivery to ensue from Julian Gressel, looking towards the back post in this phase of play. Goes towards the back post, no one's there except for the option of Robert Taylor, just in line with the left edge of the penalty area. Now it's with Busquets across the face of the D. Now it's back with Robert Taylor on that left edge of the penalty area, on his right foot looking to float across towards the back post. It does arrive, but it's cut out well by New York City. They look to break away down this left-hand side, but a player brought down, and we'll see the free kick to New York City, and plays back underway. Midway point of the defensive half down that right-hand side. Now it's Keaton Parks on that right-hand touchline, looking to go past halfway to New York City FC, but it's won back by Inter Miami just on halfway. But racing through now in transition is Santiago Rodriguez. Looks towards that left-hand side. This could be an opportunity, breaking the space. A good strike on goal. It's rolled across the face, and Monsef Bakrar just sends it high over the bar into the Miami night sky. Monsef Bakrar nearly delivering for his side, but a brilliant piece of transition from Santiago Rodriguez, who picked up on halfway, but nearly was able to get the go-ahead movement for his side. Of course, now fully fledged Algerian international, Monsef Bakrar. Wouldn't this be a great first game back to really stamp his authority? Has a great goal-scoring record for New York City as well. But just couldn't deliver on that occasion. And it looks like Yannick Bright looks to be in quite a bit of strife. They do have defensive and midfield replacements. You would suspect that maybe Lawson Sunderland or Noah Allen will be the first players to make way for him. And yeah, we do have the confirmation of that change. Thomas Aviles coming on for Yannick Bright, so it looks like Aviles and Sergio Busquets is going to play as more of a central midfield role, as Drake Callender plays the ball over the top towards that right-hand side into the attacking half for Inter Miami. It's back of a step, and it's Tavon Gray looking to impose himself again. Midway point of the defensive half now. It's with James Sands. Looks back and does find the option of left fullback. Goes with Thiago Martins. The brilliant switch towards that left-hand side was intended, but stepping up high was Ryan Saylor. One back by New York City FC up on that left-hand side, looking to approach the left edge of the penalty area, but a good little win inside. Now it's with Julian Gressel and David Ruiz. Still in their defensive half, but upfield they go with Bakrar. Can't quite get the first touch he needed, and Diego Gomez sends it down towards that left-hand side. Now it's towards Robert Taylor on this left-hand side, driving more central. The option now of Luis Suarez is there, approaching the penalty area towards Ruiz, leaves it short now towards that right-hand side. The cross into the box, it goes into the back post, and it's a cruel giveaway. Luis Suarez nearly was able to poke it home, and New York City live another day. Crucial opportunity for them. A good little lead from David Ruiz. An excellent cross from Julian Gressel. Suarez unmarked at the back post, but wasn't able to fire home. And we'll see that the first few changes now for New York City FC. Tavon Gray is going to make way off the pitch. And we'll see the introduction of Julian Fernandez and also Kevin O'Toole. Of course, Julian Fernandez also an Argentine, arriving from Vélez in 2023. A long ball up the top this time for New York City FC. A good first touch from substitute Fernandez towards that left-hand side now. Santiago Rodriguez towards that left-hand side it is for New York City FC. Back of a step now is James Sands. Keaton Parks. Midway point of their attacking half towards that left-hand side now. New York City FC is James Sands. And that's very high for New York, but play it back into their defensive half, and it's now with Matthew Freese. Midway point of their defensive half on that right-hand side now is Tavon Gray. He's actually still in the game. Coming off, of course, was Musif Bakrar and also Mitja Ilinic. Jordi Alba. Up the field he goes, looks towards Suarez, back to goal. Now in the box, now approaching on his left-hand side. He goes to ground, but no penalty is awarded in that instance. And it will be a throw-in for Inter Miami, just in line with that left edge of the penalty area. So crucial moments in this clash, about 70 minutes in. Of course, the other substitute, Kevin O'Toole, very strong and reputable player for this side for a few seasons now, of course. Arriving from his from the crosstown rivals, the New York Red Bulls in 2022. Played his college football at Princeton Tigers. See the throw-in now arrive. On that left-hand byline now is with Jordi Alba in short towards Sergio Busquets. His first pass intercepted and is forced to track back. Near misplaced pass, but it's well dealt with by Inter Miami, and a very strong pass towards the left-hand side from Thomas Aviles is unable to be trapped, but it will be retained by New York City now. Now towards that left-hand side, and they look to progress it up the pitch now. And it will be a throw-in for Inter Miami, just on the halfway line. Back in their defensive half it is. In the box is Drake Callender. In his 6-yard box, has got options to his left and to his right. Looks centrally to find Sergio Busquets. He's just outside of his box, and he looks towards that right-hand side now. New York are enforcing quite a strong press, and it's certainly paying dividends in many phases of play. New York City now looking to track back, and a good ball from Miami towards that left-hand side now. And a good looping ball over the top. The intended target was Diego Gomez, who breaks free, rolls it short to Luis Suarez, who fires it wide yet again down that left-hand side. He's getting himself in all fantastic positions, and Diego Gomez, an excellent piece of play from him. Unfortunately for Inter Miami, they just can't find the finishing touches now. And New York City FC can really lick their lips knowing that they're somewhat within a shooting opportunity, and they do have, well, shooting acumen. Kevin O'Toole got on the score sheet the last time they had a victory in the MLS against Toronto. Can he impose his influence this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are watching, of course, or listening to his commentary live and free on Flash Score? Callender towards that right-hand side, just in line with the penalty area. Defensive area for Inter Miami. It's Callender, looks to send it high and long up the top. Header from New York City back into the left-hand side of their attack, but it's well dealt with by Ryan Saylor. Now David Ruiz on that right-hand touchline. It's back in the box for Inter Miami. This time it is through Ryan Saylor. Back with Jordi Alba down that left-hand side. Lofted ball over the top. Tavon Gray is there. He's forced to track back and find his defensive partner in Thiago Martins. A brief interception it was from Robert Taylor. Now he's forced down that right-hand touchline, Tavon Gray, and it's won back by Inter Miami and rolled centrally for Diego Gomez now. Back of a step, midway point of Inter Miami's attacking half. It's David Ruiz looking to fire one from range, but it's right into the stands. But a good opportunity for Inter to press, and that's what they do when they break the press. Get a lot of space in transition and nearly forcing their way back into a lead in this contest. "73 minutes gone in this contest. It's a real cutthroat times for both sides. Just inside the box for Inter Miami now. And it will be a free kick given against Inter Miami. Not exactly sure what for. We'll just see what that actually has been given for. So, yeah, it's a clash of players. James Sands and Robert Taylor just clashing. And James Sands is the player that is clearly worse off. A very, very strong defensive midfielder. Of course, he's a fully fledged United States international, of course. Still only 23 years of age, of course. And a lone stint at Rangers. And now is back as a New York player. Also an academy product for this football club. You don't get too many of those nowadays. For expansion sides at least, but one of their own. Up the line they go to New York City. One back in possession by Inter Miami, and they're attacking half. Beautiful turn from David Ruiz. He's got space on the right-hand side for Gressel to exploit. On the right edge of the area, cross into the box, but it's well dealt with by Martins. And now New York City will look to press down that left-hand side. Now it's with Wolf. Looking to break himself away, but he can't exactly do so. Inter Miami do win it back on their halfway line. Look to force it up the pitch, but it's unfortunate for David Ruiz, who just can't break away in that instance. We're back with Busquets on the halfway line. He's got options to his left. He's got Luis Suarez racing in transition in the central area. It's Gomez back to Suarez. Can he get it onto his right foot? He can't. He goes back to goal. He's going to draw the foul, but he can't. just inside the area it was, so not exactly enough contact to warrant a penalty. But it's Ryan Saylor now. Look to play it back to his goalkeeper in Drake Callender, who composes himself very well. This game firmly is in the balance, but Inter Miami do have the majority of the possession. Loft the ball over the top towards that left-hand side. Good touch from Jordi Alba. Down to Robert Taylor, bearing down on goal in a central position. It's Suarez towards the right edge of the area. Now it's Gressel across to Suarez, and he just skies that high into the night sky. He's really not covered himself in glory, Luis Suarez, so far, but he's done pretty well in all phases of play when he's got himself in positions, but it's just the finishing touches that just aren't really there. Just needs to have that added sense of quality which can draw his side into a better position. That's Robert Taylor's final act of the evening. And coming on, Jose Casas de Abadal. Another change as well. Julian Gressel making way for Leo Afonso. De Abadal, a very intriguing prospect, of course, 23 years of age from Spain, a part of the MLS Next Pro program. Of course, played a lot of college football with many teams, the likes of Indiana Tech and also Fort Wayne. Now a first team member of this squad, and can he influence the game in a positive way? Towards that right hand side now, Inter Miami looking to impose themselves. Leo Afonso, of course, also a Brazilian who also played his college ball in the US. Towards the left hand side now, Alba with a cross into the box, but it's well claimed by New York City's goalkeeper Matthew Fries as he looks to send it high up the pitch, but into the centre circle now. It's back with Sergio Busquets. Midway point of their attacking half now. It's with Ruiz back to goal. It's with a good pass from Busquets towards that right edge of the penalty area. Into the box it goes for Suarez. Can't quite break free. And now New York City will just have to defend for their lives here, as they do win the foul, though, fortunately for them. As mentioned, Leo Afonso, a very intriguing, attacking-minded player. Of course, did make the switch to Inter Miami following a stint at the Virginia Cavs. He was actually a part of their academy prior to going into the college system. He was drafted with the 32nd overall pick in the MLS draft. All those players were signed last week on professional deals. Short-term agreements, though, alongside Ricardo Montenegro, who does not feature in the matchday squad. Midway point of the defensive half now is with Ryan Saylor towards that right-hand side now for Inter Miami, just inside the defensive half. They're in a more central position now. This time it is Sergio Busquets. Now space opening up for Luis Suarez. Back to goal now. It's back with Suarez on that right foot! Luis Suarez! A beautiful piece of interplay, but they can't exactly deliver. And again, Suarez, another awesome opportunity that he's had, but can't deliver on that occasion. That's a really, really good save as well from Matthew Fries. We'll see a yellow card awarded. I think it's to Thomas Aviles, who's been given his yellow card. I'm not exactly sure what for. But yeah, Luis Suarez was running through the central region of the pitch. A good piece of play, and it was Marcelo Vangant who got himself involved in that phase of play with a nice little 1-2 touch to his fellow South American. Midway point of the defensive half, New York City FC. Got a big task ahead of them. It's in anyone's It's anyone's guess who's going to win this game at this point, to be honest. Back into the box for Matthew Freeze towards that central right-hand side for New York City FC. Keaton Parks at the midway point of their defensive half. They look towards that central left-hand side. Still in the defensive half, though, for New York City, just trying to break the press from Inter Miami. Back to their goalkeeper now, Freeze, who's forced to clear down that left-hand side, but it's out of play. Distribution not quite on point there. Now thrown for Miami at the midway point of their attacking half. They go back into their defensive half, though. Now it's with Ryan Saylor. On that left-hand side is Jordi Alba. Just on the halfway line, Saylor. Back to Aviles. One ball over the top towards that left-hand side. It's executed really well. Alba with the header back inside. Left edge of the penalty area. Looking to race through on goal now. On this left-hand side, it's back with Alba. Nice little flick from the Spanish international. Now it's back in midfield for Inter Miami. This time through to Abadal. Midway point of their attacking half towards that right-hand side now. Aviles towards that right-hand touchline. Looking to break through. Weingart with a cross inside. And a very poor touch in the box. And they can live again, New York City, but it's won back by Miami. Now towards that left-hand side from Alfonso. And it's a long clearance from New York City FC. Now towards that left-hand side, this time through Sergio Busquets. Back to Ryan Saylor on that left-hand side of the attacking half for Inter Miami. Back with Thomas Aviles. Across the centre circle. And Miami just looking to compose themselves in defensive positions now. This time through it, Sergio Busquets. We'll see a double change from New York City in a few moments as well. Farias, nice little interplay. Alfonso looks towards that right-hand side, hooking it that side. Midway point of their attacking half on that right-hand side. Into Miami. Cross into the box. Headed back by New York City. Looking to break through yet again. Ryan Saylor just on halfway for Inter Miami. Ryan Saylor back of a step, looks towards that left-hand side. It's with Jordi Alba. Left-hand side of the pitch. Now it's with Abadal. Abadal looking to break space, but plays it back on the halfway line for Saylor. Looking towards the central right-hand side of the pitch now. It's with Thomas Aviles. Back to Weingart. Back to goal. Into Miami. David Ruiz wins it back on the right edge of the area, but there's called for a foul. I think it was in the previous phase of play. David Ruiz, very cruel in that instance, not to be given more going forward. Unfortunately for him. David Ruiz just can't really capitalize on that opportunity. And a double change now for New York City to be confirmed. Let's see the introduction of Justin Haak and also Andres Pereira. It might be Malachi Jones, I'm not exactly sure. We'll just see if we can get confirmation of that. A bit of conjecture here. It seems as if Hans Wolf does not want to exit the play that quickly. A lot of conjecture between Nicholas Cushing, the New York City manager, and also the various fourth officials and assistant referees. Luis Suarez having a bit of a chat as well. And yeah, we'll see the confirmation of the change now. It's Fahinya Tanasijevic coming off, and oncoming is Andres Pereira. And the other change is going to be Malachi Jones making his way onto the park. I'm not exactly sure who his replacement is at the moment, but we'll just get confirmation of that in just a few moments. Very intriguing footballer is Malachi Jones, only 20 years of age, of course, arriving from Tennessee and also Liscombe in the US college system. A big opportunity for him tonight. Towards that right-hand side now is the introduction of Tavon Gray in that sort of very wide fullback position. He was actually listed as a centre-back on the team sheet. It's one back by Inter Miami in their defensive half now. Midway point of their defensive half is Sergio Busquets. He's got space opening up on that right-hand side. Aviles. It's a beautiful piece of skill from David Ruiz. Just on that right edge of the pitch, but it's Ruiz who goes to ground. Of course, Malachi Jones was selected in the MLS draft as well for New York City. Eighth overall pick, so a lot to live up to. Midway point of the defensive half now is Ryan Saylor. Viles towards that central right-hand side. It's back with Inter Miami looking to break forward, but it's given away by New York City. The throw-in does arrive eventually. Body's just flying around, and it's a free kick given towards Inter Miami. Sands just imposing himself too much on that central right-hand side of the pitch for Inter. As for the other player coming onto the park, Andres Pereira, a very dynamic footballer he is. He's, of course, coming into a game in which it's very difficult to really break the lines. Of course, American international as well. .23 years of age, formerly of Orlando City. Now towards David Ruiz, he's got space towards on that right-hand side to exploit. And a very strong challenge from New York City FC, and I think they'll be given as a corner. The last touch coming off a New York City player. Andres Pereira, of course, actually started his career in Colombia with Atlético Nacional. He was actually born in the USA, but many would consider him to be of the Colombian international. But the cross does come in now from Inter Miami. It's well won out by Malachi Jones. He's got space opening up on that right-hand side, and they are able to exploit it now. Nice little ball in behind towards that right-hand side, right edge of the penalty area, cutting inside. Space looking to open up on the D, but it doesn't exactly fall for New York City. Now looking to break free. He's into Miami down this left-hand side. It's with Jordi Alba, central left-hand side of the pitch. Loft the ball over the top. And it's Luis Suarez who's bearing down on goal. It's Luis Suarez who can't get a touch to it or fire up a shot. A golden opportunity goes missing. Alfonso Martinez, of course, now we've got confirmation he was the player who's made way for Andres Pereira. That's an excellent ball from Jordi Alba. Luis Suarez beating the press on that left-hand side, entering the box, but his first or second touch was slightly too far away from him and couldn't find the all-important ball to finish the game for Inter Miami. A bit of afters here as well. A couple handbags between two sides as we approach stoppage time. Now we'll see a yellow card awarded to Luis Suarez, perhaps for his over-eagerness in that phase of play. And he's we see Luis Suarez just talking with Matthew Freeze, who of course is on the ground following that chance that we just saw. Very intriguing. Still very interesting footballer, Luis Suarez, in all composition. 9 minutes of added time. That is absolutely crazy. So plenty of time for either side to perhaps get a winner. Suarez, of course, turned 37 in January, but still has that South American spice to him that he's demonstrated across his career. As towards that right-hand side for New York City FC, who do win back possession. And then New York City just want to slow down the tempo. They just want to ensure that there's not a lot of time and space for them to exploit Inter Miami. It's one back in the midway point of the defensive half for New York City. It's now with Keaton Parks. Looks towards that right-hand side. Tavon Gray, midway point of their attacking half, now in a more central position. Looking to break the space with Julian Fernandez. And it's Tavon Gray again, now Fernandez, and it's just absolute pandemonium. Alfonso looking to find it in the centre circle for Inter Miami. Now David Ruiz just inside his defensive half towards the right-hand side, midway point of the defensive half for Inter Miami again. And a good interception from New York City across the face of the centre circle. There's one back by Inter Miami just in their attacking half. It's with Jordi Alba now, midway point of their attacking half on this left-hand side. It's with Sergio Busquets, who steps inside. It's got Jordi Alba to his left, but unfortunately unable to win on that occasion. Now Pereira. It's going to be New York City FC with a throw-in on that right-hand side. They go back into the box where Matthew Freeze is forced to clear into the centre circle, but it's met by an Inter Miami player. The header. Malachi Jones now back to goal. It's got space opening up on that left-hand side, but it's in the defensive half and they have to clear up the line down that left-hand side. Well composed by Inter Miami. We do win it back following a couple of moments from New York City to briefly win back possession. Just back on halfway for Diego Gomez. It's forced to track back and find Jordi Alba, who's now deputising as a centre-back. He looks to run it up the pitch. The crossfield ball towards the right-hand side now. It's kept in play just. And now Malachi Jones goes to ground and he's awarded the free kick. And it was De Abadal just imposing his influence a little bit too much on that phase of play. 6 minutes left of this contest in added time. Just on halfway for New York City on that central left-hand side. They'll look to send this ball high and long. In fact, they actually played short to Pereira. Left-hand side, it's left-hand touchline for New York City FC. Player goes to ground. It will be a free kick for them, about 45 yards out from goal. They play it back on halfway to New York City. It's back with the defence of the away side. Now racing up forward is Tavon Gray. Cross into the box! It was a very teasing effort. There were players arriving in the box. There's Drake Callender who's there to claim. Luis Suarez will very much sniff a winner here. Moments are made for him. Diego Gomez in the defensive half for Inter Miami towards that right-hand side. Just on halfway is Weingart. Back of a step now is Aviles. Sergio Busquets back to Aviles. Midway point of that defensive half. They look towards that central left-hand side now. It's with Sailor, should I say. On this left-hand side, it's got space opening up upfield, but the gaps are not really opening for Inter Miami. They play back to Drake Callender, who's in the box. And short is Thomas Aviles. Central right-hand side. Further right is Weingart. He looks to attempt the crossfield ball. It's won by Tavon Gray. And his header towards that right-hand side is unable to be met by the substitute in New York City's Julian Fernandez. Into Miami in their defensive half down the central left-hand side. It's with Sergio Busquets. Back with Sailor in a more central position. Towards Aviles now on the central right-hand side. Looks towards the right-hand touchline. It's Weingart, midway point of the Miami defensive half. And the interception from the substitute, Malachi Jones, did arrive. It'll be a throw for Weingart. Had a pretty good debut. Vanguard, of course. Sergio Busquets now. Midway point of the defensive half now for Ryan Saylor. Now it's with Sergio Busquets. Looking to play it upfield, but that's intercepted by Fernandez briefly. And New York City looking to enforce a press just on halfway for Inter Miami. Now it's with Afonso, nearly forcing his way forward. Back into the defensive half for Miami. Let's go into the penalty area now. It's with Inter Miami. It's with Thomas Aviles down that right-hand side. Right-hand touchline for Inter Miami. Midway point of the defensive half now. The crossfield ball towards that left-hand side. The intended target was Jordi Alba. Now it's with Miami in their attacking half, but they can't exactly break away now. Now it's Fernandez, and space opening up for Perea down this right-hand side for New York City. He looks like he has to turn back and play it back to the option in Fernandez, looking upfield into the more central area in the centre circle, but it's Tavon Gray now. Midway point of the defensive half for New York City. This is desperation now. The moment has to arrive in this instance. And it was Kevin O'Toole getting a touch on that left-hand side. Keaton Parks now in the centre. Approaching the centre circle is New York City FC, just in their defensive half. To Hugo Martins. Across the D now. Long ball over the top towards that right-hand side. Fernandez manages to keep it in just on halfway for New York City. Now on this right-hand side, a nice little teasing ball in behind for Jones. Back to goal, he's in the area. Malachi Jones looking to turn left and right. But it's back on the byline on this right-hand side for New York City. And they're attacking half. They go right to the corner flag. A very intriguing strategy here. I'm not sure what the intention is behind it. And they, in fact, don't even win a corner. It's a goal kick. So we'll see Drake Callender take it now. Only a minute and a half left in this contest remaining as David Ruiz looks towards that right-hand side. Midway point of the defensive half. It's with David Ruiz yet again. Let's play it further back to the option in Thomas Aviles. And Ryan Saylor now is towards that left-hand side of Jordi Alba. Nutmegs the player. And it's won back by New York City in transition now. They look to break. Space opening up on that left-hand side. On the edge of the area. Looking to get it towards Jones, and the strike arrives. Eventually from Santiago Rodriguez, but it's into the arms of Drake Callender. Wolf with a good run down in a central region. Hans Wolf just didn't really have a lot of intensity going forward. Just played it towards Santiago Rodriguez. Turned onto his left and then got the strike away, but was closed down by an Inter Miami player. It looks like the life of this game has really been sucked out. Long ball over the top. Inter Miami's attacking half. Back to goal is Jordi Alba. And there's a call for offside against Luis Suarez. And I think that might just about be it in this game. Miami have really done all they can by many estimates, but unfortunately for them, they aren't able to really find the killer blow. "99 minutes gone now. And the halftime whistle has been called. The opening goal from Luis Suarez, 14 minutes in, was answered by Alonso Martinez. Plenty of work to do for both to deliver in that first half. New York City FC continue their winless streak. As for Inter Miami, they aren't able to manage to get a win against either New York sides in a matter of just a few weeks. I've been Neil Simons for Flash Score. It's been a pleasure to have your company this evening, or afternoon, or wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you very soon.